everybody else, we say, oh, I don't care about that person. I don't care what that person think about me. I don't care about what that person says about me. However, when it comes to our loved ones, people that we love, we tend to get on the defensive. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's your Coach Nyla, co-founder of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as co-author of the book Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in a moment where you're communicating with someone and they said something and it got to you, like really got to you, like you felt it in your chest and you just wanted to tell them about themselves, or you just wanted to pretty much let them know that they weren't quite right about the stuff that they said about you, even though that wasn't the whole purpose of the conversation? Here's what I mean. You're having a conversation. It has nothing to do about how a person feel about you or you feel about them or anything like that. However, they may say something like, well, it reminds me of the time when you did blah, blah, blah. And then you say, hold up. I only did that because such, 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 and such, type of thing. And you would justify why you did what you did. Do you find yourself from time to time feeling like you have to justify your actions, your thoughts, anything in your conversations, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your family, whether it's with friends? How can we communicate without being defensive? How can we communicate without getting defensive? I realize that's the downfall. That's a challenge, a major challenge in many relationships. For one, it's communication. It's lack of communication. It's crappy communication. It's all of that. However, being defensive in the way we communicate and how we communicate is one of the biggest problems I've seen in communication. I've also found it to be a problem in mine, and I had to change that. Because even when you're dealing with loved ones, you may be dealing with some loved ones and they're just saying some things, and they may have just said something and it doesn't even, they may have said something and you may have not needed to take it in the way that you took it, but for some reason you did. And later on, after that conversation, you say, you know what? It wasn't that serious, but it blew up into something else. I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, so one day my mom and my sister kind of got into a little spat, I guess. It wasn't even really much of a spat. They had this family game thing or whatever, and they went to play some soccer or kickball. I think it was some kickball match. Doesn't matter what game it was. They just did a family thing. And some of the family members were able to show up, but it got to the point where my sister's husband was on my mom's team, and then there was other people on my sister's team. And everything was done fairly, like the way it was picked, everything like that. It was fine. However, my sister's husband, it seemed as though he was sabotaging the team so he wouldn't have any issues with his wife later on. Let me know in the comments if you guys ever experienced something like that, or if you've seen something like that happen. Where someone, just to not have issues with their spouse, decided to just sabotage some things that they're a part of, or that sabotage something that they want to have. Have you ever sabotaged something that you wanted in order to not have any, issues with your spouse? Let me know in the comments. Anywho, what happened was that my mom had to make a comment about it. She was like, you know what, look, maybe you should just go, on the same team as your wife if you're going to sabotage, the game and everything like that. She just wanted to have fun, have a family get together, do this thing, but it was these issues. So when my mom made mention of that, my sister got defensive. And the game pretty much went sour. I mean, my mom said that she just was still wanted to have fun and everything like that. And she did have fun and she'll do it again. She said, but my sister really took it to the next level and just didn't want to play anymore or got upset because it shifted. It shifted from they were winning at first and then they started losing and then all these other rules start coming up. It was just really crazy. But the defensiveness was there. And I know that. I know my sister. It happens from time. It happens more often than we would like to admit, but it happens. But that's with all of us. I know one point in time you can look back and say, you know what? I blew something out of proportion that I didn't need to, and I should have listened to what was said. So how do we communicate without being defensive? And then, long story short about what happened with my family and everything like that, my sister ended up apologizing to my mom later and realized that she was wrong. That's another video for another time when I talk about how it's really difficult for people to apologize and how to make it a little bit easier to admit when you're wrong, even when you don't feel that you're wrong. Because when it comes down to it, we all have our parts that we play in how things happen.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I am Coach Nazir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah, his wife.
And I am Coach Nyla. I am also his wife.
We are the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as the authors of the book,
Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored.
And I'm sure you're asking yourself, how can you get your hands on a copy of it right now? The great part is, we're about to share that with you, but first, let me tell you about why you need to at least get your hands on one or maybe more copies, depending on where you are in your polygynous journey.
Some of the things that we discuss in our book are issues about trust, insecurities, jealousy among wives, and maybe even, possibly even, creating lasting friendships.
Especially friendships amongst co-wives. And we share in this book how you can understand that it takes a village, that polygyny is not some taboo topic or something that's going to leave women stranded alone and kids not loving each other or feel like they're left alone by their fathers or from their fathers or whatever the case may be. You will learn so much in this book. Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored.
Indeed, we lay down the practical steps that we wish we would have had when we started our polygynous journey over 13 years ago. Well, the time is here, and all you have to do, go to letstalkpolygamy.com. Order a copy, order the bundle, do whatever it is you need to do so there's no more excuses, and we making marriage great again by reminding people of polygamy, which is an ancient solution to a modern day problem. Letstalkpolygamy.com. Get your pre-sale order on. With that being said,
make sure you are growing intentionally,
loving fearlessly,
and connecting on a higher level
every single day.
Visit the link. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Peace.
However, how do you communicate without feeling defensive? How can you do that? First and foremost, really listen to the conversation. And if you feel yourself getting defensive, ask the person, because maybe if you feel yourself getting defensive, ask the person, what do they mean by what they said? Also, look at the person. You know the person. If you know the person, usually we get very defensive when it comes to those that we love, those that we care about, those who know us. Everybody else, we say, oh, I don't care about that person. I don't care what that person thinks about me. I don't care about what that person says about me. However, when it comes to our loved ones, people that we love, we tend to get on the defensive because we want them to see us in a good light. I know what that's about. However, you have to think about it. Is this person really trying to hurt me? Is this person really trying to upset me? Is this person trying to make me feel bad? Really think about that. If that's the case, then it's like, why am I communicating with this person in the first place? Stop the communication. You have that opportunity. You have that power to say, you know what? This is going a certain type of way and I don't like it, or I'm starting to feel some type of way. Maybe we can communicate about it later, but right now is not a good time. Or I feel like you're throwing shots at me. Is that what it is? The thing is, we need to be honest and we need to be responsible. Yes, I will say we need to be We must be. I will say those things because we're talking about having outstanding relationships. And there are some points and some things you have to have in place in order to be that outstanding. You have to. So I won't say, well, like I said, you can do whatever you want. But when it comes to being outstanding, there are certain rules in place. There are certain steps you have to take. And one of those steps is being responsible. Responsible for your actions, your feelings, your desires, your thoughts, all those things. And the other one is being able to properly communicate and being able to be courageous in your communication. Yes, you may not want to hurt someone's feelings, or you may not want to cause the drama or the conflict, or you don't want any of that conflict to continue on. But it's not okay for you to hold things in if you feel a certain type of way. And I'm speaking from experience because I am a pleasing type. That is my personality. And I don't like drama. I don't like conflict. I'm not saying that there are people that just love conflict, but there are people out there that do. But there are some people that they don't like conflict, but they're not going to be a pushover, or they're not going to allow people to just tell them what they feel, and they're not going to say anything, to combat it. And sometimes it's just not worth it. So you also have to ask yourself that. Is it worth it? In order to have proper communication, or communication without getting defensive, you have to ask yourself the adult questions, the intelligent questions, the mature questions, and answer them truthfully. Could I have taken this the wrong way? Maybe I'll just listen more. And then when I need to speak, I'll say what I feel without throwing shots. That's the art of being able to communicate effectively and properly. So let me know down in the comments if you've had some issues with being defensive in your communication. If you have gotten this far, make sure you put a muscle emoji in there, because sometimes we want to flex our muscles when it comes to our communication and getting our point across. So if you made it this far, put a little muscle emoji in the comments and let us know, have you ever dealt with anything like that? And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, because I found out half of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to our channel yet. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, as well as the notification bell, so you can be part of the notification gang and get notified on when we release videos, which is every week. And until next time, make sure you are growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. Until next time, assalamu alaikum.